Sea Turtles, Ocean Nomads, Chapter 2. There is a vocabulary assignment. I would like you to choose 5 of the 10 vocabulary words from Chapter 2 and use 5 of the words in a sentence. So you will have 5 sentences using 1 vocabulary word per sentence. Please put them on Seesaw or turn them in by email. So for Chapter 2, vocabulary word number 1 is external. Something that is on the outside is external. For example, if you're talking about a turtle, then their shell is external. Number 2, reptiles. Cold-blooded animals such as snakes and turtles are reptiles. Number 3, comments. When someone comments on something, he or she is explaining or interpreting something observed. Number 4, exceptionally. To be exceptionally friendly is to be very friendly. Frequencies. Turtles are able to hear very low sound frequencies. They can hear sounds that are much lower than sounds we can hear. Streamlined. The streamlined shell of a turtle allows it to flow through the water easily with little resistance. Divert. To divert something is to send it in a different direction. Vital. Our organs are vital to life. Without our organs, we are unable to live. Devour. To devour something is to eat hungrily. Intervals. Intervals are the periods of time between events. So remember, the first assignment is to choose 5 of these vocabulary words and use them in a sentence. Please turn that in either on Seesaw or by email. The second assignment for Chapter 2 will be to answer the following questions. So I'm going to read them first so that you know what you should be watching for or listening for as I read Chapter 2. Answer the questions with complete sentences. Number 1, what is one main idea of Chapter 2? Why did the author discuss this main idea? Number 2, on page 15, the side column talks about the differences between the pond turtle and a sea turtle. Why is it important for readers to know those differences? How does this relate to the book's message about protecting sea turtles? Number 3, how does the information on pages 12 and 13, Turtle Hearing Test, help you understand how we can protect sea turtles? So please answer those 3 questions using complete sentences. Turn them in either on Seesaw or by email. Chapter 2, Seaworthy Turtles. All turtles are reptiles, the same as snakes, lizards, and geckos. They are cold-blooded animals, which means they take on the temperature of their surroundings. Reptiles all have scaly, dry skin, but turtles also have shells. The top shell, the carapace, and the bottom shell, the plastron, are actually part of their skeleton. The scales covering both shells, called scutes, are made of keratin, the same material as human fingernails. Instead of teeth, turtles have jagged beaks for catching, holding, and slicing their food. Their nostrils and eyes are located near the top of the head, so a turtle doesn't have to stick its head out far out of the water to breathe. Scientists believe sea turtles can see better underwater than on land. Out of water, they become rather nearsighted. Their sense of smell is excellent. Turtles have no external ears, but they can hear. A sea turtle has to lift its head only slightly above water to breathe. A green turtle in sea fan coral, Grand Cayman. Turtle hearing test. Just how well turtles hear is the subject of an experiment using Myrtle the turtle, a 550-pound green sea turtle that has lived at the New England Aquarium in Massachusetts for over 30 years. Myrtle is used to being fed by hand. Scuba divers enter the giant ocean tank 5 times a day to feed the tropical fish, sharks, and sea turtles that live in the 230,000-gallon aquarium. As soon as the divers enter the tank, Myrtle is at their side, nuzzling them for handouts. Because she has spent most of her life in human company, she enjoys interacting with humans, comments one of her caregivers, senior aquarist Sherry Floyd. She follows the divers around the tank and watches whatever they are doing. She loves to have her back scratched, and she'll fall asleep in your lap. Because Myrtle is exceptionally friendly and curious, she was the perfect subject for studying the hearing ability of sea turtles. Curator Kathy Streeter is teaching Myrtle to take a hearing test much like the ones given to human children. Myrtle is given various sounds of differing loudness to determine her hearing range. In the experiment, 2 speakers are lowered into the water. When Myrtle hears a sound, she pecks at a response paddle and gets a reward of squid. Kathy said, "So far it has been determined that Myrtle hears between 100 to 500 hertz. This is a smaller range of hearing than humans, but includes some frequencies that are below our range of hearing. Loud sounds drive her away from the speakers, however." Kathy has nothing but admiration for Myrtle's ability to master the complex series of procedures that have enabled researchers to measure Myrtle's hearing. Kathy tried several different procedures until she found the one that was easiest for Myrtle to respond to consistently. Myrtle also has to ignore the distraction of the other residents in her tank and the human visitors that crowd around its windows. Kathy notes that despite these challenges, it is amazing that an animal with such a small brain has been able to learn the procedure required to participate in a hearing study. Scientists hope this study will help them understand how undersea noise pollution, from propeller-driven ship engines, drilling for oil on the ocean floor, and even scientific sonar studies may affect sea turtles. Also, they hope that noise levels that annoy Myrtle can someday be broadcast from fishing boats to drive away sea turtles before they become entangled in fishing nets. This could help prevent one of the major causes of turtle deaths. Myrtle the turtle, a longtime resident of the New England Aquarium, is the subject of a study to find out how well turtles hear. Streamlined shells and paddle-shaped flippers help make sea turtles excellent swimmers and impressive divers. Leatherback sea turtles, for example, regularly dive deeper than 1,000 feet and have been known to reach a depth of 3,900 feet. The green sea turtle can hold its breath for as long as 5 hours, slowing its heart rate to as little as 9 beats a minute to conserve oxygen. Some sea turtles have even been found to hibernate on the bottom, much as pond turtles do. Off the coast of California, black sea turtles bury themselves in mud or sand and remain dormant from November to March. The buoyancy of seawater, which allows ships weighing hundreds of tons to float, also enables sea turtles to grow huge compared to most land turtles. Sea turtles range in size from the Ridley, the smallest at about 80 pounds, to the leatherback, the largest at well over 1,000 pounds. Streamlined and graceful in the ocean, bulky sea turtles become slow and clumsy on land. Most sea turtles live in warm climates. If a sea turtle ventures into colder water, either swept by currents or by storms or searching for food, it may become cold stunned. At first, it loses the ability to swim. drifting helplessly at the surface of the water. Eventually, it becomes dazed and unresponsive, like a hiker lost in a snowstorm. If it is to survive, rescuers must warm the turtle up gradually, which may take several days to a week, and force feed it to keep it alive. Only the leatherback turtle seems to be able to handle the cold. It is the only species of sea turtles known to be active in water below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Leatherbacks have been seen as far north as Nova Scotia in Canada and Norway in northern Europe. A thick, oily fat layer under their skin helps them keep their body temperature warmer than the surrounding seawater. They also have the ability to divert blood flow away from their flippers and pump it to warm vital organs like the heart and brain. Broad flippers help sea turtles scull through the water. Hawksbill turtle. A leatherback sea turtle. Turtle types. There are many differences between freshwater turtles, which you might find in ponds and pet stores, and sea turtles. A pond turtle has flat feet, webbed toes for swimming, and sharp claws for digging in the mud and for courting when the male uses its claws to tickle the female under the chin. A sea turtle's feet are broad flippers that are just used for swimming. A pond turtle can bend its neck into an S shape to pull its head inside its shell, but a sea turtle cannot. Species of sea turtles. Some scientists say there are 8 species of sea turtles. Others claim there are only 7. Since classification is a human invention, it makes no difference to the turtles. Most species of sea turtles were named for some distinctive features like the hawksbill turtle, which gets its name from its sharp bird-like beak. The hawksbill is the most tropical of sea turtles. It hangs out in coral reefs and rocky shorelines, wedging itself between rocks or coral crevices to nap. It can poke its sharp snout into small openings in the coral reef to see shrimp, sponges, anemones, and squid. Small for a sea turtle, it usually only grows to about 3 feet long and weighs up to 150 pounds. But it lays more eggs than any other sea turtle, 150 or more at one time. The downfall of the hawksbill turtle is its shell. The overlapping plates or scutes of its top shell are thick, strong, and beautifully patterned, making it ideal for fashioning into tortoiseshell jewelry, eyeglass frames, and combs. Because of the popularity of tortoiseshell souvenirs, most of which were made in Japan, hawksbill turtles' populations declined by 80% until international trade was stopped in 1982. The most noticeable feature of the loggerhead turtle is its bulging head, but it can also be identified by its enormous heart-shaped shell. This sea turtle dines on a wide variety of prey, including shellfish, horseshoe crabs, green crabs, clams, mussels, and shrimp, as well as fish, sea urchins, squid, and jellyfish. It nests along the southeastern coast of the United States, particularly Florida, and on one island in Oman in the Middle East. The flatback turtle was named for its very flat shell. It lives along the coast of northern Australia and is a common sight in coastal coral reefs and grassy shallows, especially around the Great Barrier Reef. Adults may weigh as much as 198 pounds and grow to 39 inches long. Female flatbacks lay about 50 eggs at a time, but they are bigger than many other kinds of sea turtle eggs, and so are their hatchlings. The leatherback sea turtle is named for its soft, rubbery shell that looks like leather. The champion of sea turtles, it dives the deepest, travels the farthest, and grows the biggest. The largest leatherback was almost 10 feet long from its beak to its tail and weighed over 2,000 pounds. Its primary food is jellyfish. Jellyfish are 90% water, which doesn't seem a hearty enough meal to support an animal this size, but leatherbacks seem to eat enough to get by. Young leatherbacks in captivity often devour twice their weight in jellyfish each day. In their quest for jellyfish, leatherbacks sometimes mistakenly swallow floating garbage such as plastic milk jugs, styrofoam, plastic bags, and balloons. This plastic debris can choke them or block food from passing through their digestive systems, causing them to slowly starve to death. Some sea turtles are named for the color of their shells, like the black turtle that has a black shell. Some scientists think the black turtle should be lumped in the same group as the green turtle. It ranges across the eastern Pacific Ocean and grows to 100 to 150 pounds. It is found in the tropical regions of the Pacific and Indian Oceans and in the southern and eastern parts of the Atlantic Ocean. The olive ridley is a small olive-green turtle that feeds in shallow water on crabs, young spiny lobsters, and snails. It lives in tropical waters in the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. Olive ridleys are thought to be the most abundant sea turtles. The shell of the green turtle is not green, but that just under its carapace is. That's because as an adult, it is a vegetarian that feeds mostly on seagrass and seaweeds. Turtle soup made from this fatty layer became a favorite of wealthy Londoners in the 1800s. Lewis Carroll even wrote of it in Alice in Wonderland. Beautiful soup so rich and green, waiting in a hot tureen. Who for such dainties would not stoop? Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. One turtle was named for its discoverer, the Kemp's Ridley. The Kemp's Ridley was named in 1880 for Richard Kemp, a fisherman who shipped turtles to Harvard University from Key West in Florida. It is the most endangered and the smallest of all sea turtles. Adults grow slightly over 2 feet long and weigh up to 100 pounds. Adult Kemp's Ridleys travel throughout the Gulf of Mexico, yet they are rarely found in nearby Caribbean waters. A few drift northward along the Atlantic coast and even cross over to Europe. The females crawl up onto the shore together and lay their eggs in huge mass nestings called arribadas, Spanish for the arrival. Bands of mothers swarm up the beach at regular intervals from April to June each year. Unlike most other sea turtles, their invasion takes place during the daytime. That was lucky for engineer Andres Herrera, the first person to ever film the nesting site of the Kemp's Ridleys over half a century ago. He flew along the Gulf Coast of Mexico for 25 days in a row until finally he discovered more than 40,000 sea turtles massed on a small strip of beach in Rancho Nuevo, Mexico. Although their numbers are on the rise, at one time as few as 400 Kemp's Ridleys nested there. So on page 16, the head of a hawksbill turtle resembles a bird's beak. Page 17, the flesh of the green turtle is green because it normally feeds on sea lettuce and seaweeds. And below, most sea turtles, like this hawksbill turtle, frequent the warm ocean waters around a coral reef. So remember, your second assignment is to answer the questions. Number 1, what is one main idea of Chapter 2? Why did the author discuss this main idea? Number 2, on page 15, the side column talks about the differences between the pond turtle and a sea turtle. Why is it important for readers to know those differences? How does this relate to the book's message about protecting sea turtles? Number 3, how does the information on pages 12 and 13, Turtle Hearing Test, help you understand how we can protect sea turtles? Please answer on line paper and take a picture of it and put it on Seesaw or by email. Thank you.